Hi guys, so I recently uploaded a video where there was a man who was running a small business that grows glass eels for export. Now his main market, of course, being the European Union, he voted to leave and now he's reaping the benefits of that. He was interviewed by UKIP where they convinced him, or maybe he was already convinced, that leaving the European Union would help his business. Now, at the time I said the UKIP MEP was lying to him. The UKIP MEP knew that it would be damaging to his business, but he used this man for his own political motivations, his own political benefit. But here is another scenario. We have a man who voted for Brexit. He says he was led down the garden path by Boris Johnson. Now, I try to be generous. I try to be kind with these people because I understand that there are two groups of people who voted for Brexit. There are ones who perhaps believed what Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage were saying, although I struggle to understand how anyone would believe a word that Boris Johnson says. Boris Johnson, if he said we're in the month of January, I'd have to check a calendar. Nigel Farage, you know, I wouldn't feel safe leaving my wallet on a table around Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage, a charlatan, a crook. Boris Johnson, a compulsive liar. So these are the people telling you they have your interests at heart. Why would you believe them? Now, some people may have believed maybe these people are telling lies or whatever, but generally there's probably my industry is going to fare better. But then if you don't know anything about the fishing industry, then you could be forgiven for thinking maybe things are going to get better. But if you work in that industry, you know it better than the general public know it. How could you support Brexit? The only way I could think of this is that you did not vote for Brexit because you wanted to help your industry. You voted for Brexit for some other reason. It was not an economic choice. It was maybe a political choice or some other reason. But let's hear what this interview. So this was an interview conducted by PBS, where they interviewed this man shortly after the Brexit vote, and he dismissed Project Fear, for example. And then after they interviewed him again recently, and he's talking about the consequences.
£14, 14.10.
Brixham Market has Britain's biggest fish sales. Ian Perks, who exports to Europe, is reaping the benefits of the Brexit vote. Since then, sterling, the British currency, has weakened by 12%. Perks buys fish in British pounds and sells in euros. But there have been dire warnings that if Britain leaves the tariff-free European Union without a deal in a so-called hard Brexit, fish will end up rotting on the dockside.
A load of old tosh. There is never going to be any fish left on the dock. Every fish here for the last 30 years is sold.
So there won't be any fish rot. Now, how could you say that? You know, you could understand that if that was somebody who didn't know anything about the fishing industry, if somebody who's living outside this, you know, have nothing to do with fish or fishing or selling of fish or business in general. But to say it's a load of crap, why are you saying that? What is your motivation for saying that?
Nothing is ever left. There will be no fish left rotting on the dock. I can assure you of that. I think business will continue and we will thrive, which is why I voted out. You know, I've been sort of led down the garden path probably by the fantastic PR work that Boris and his gang did. You know, we've got a bus going around London telling us we're spending 350 million per week in the EU.
Once again, I understand these people are suffering. They voted for this. I'm not taking any pleasure from this because I don't want people to suffer. Because it's, you know, his vote is not just a vote for him to suffer, but it's a vote for other people to suffer as well. He employs people; they're going to suffer as well. In the same case as the, you know, we all had a bit of a laugh at the glass eel guy, but he employs staff. As I said in the video, you know, he may have to close his business, He'd probably be able to sell off his business for, at a loss, but able to survive because he'll make a bit of money out of it. But his staff will not. His staff, some of them are probably on minimum wage. They're going to suffer the consequences. In the same case, this man, his business is suffering. He'll probably have to lay off some staff. They're going to suffer the consequences along with him. But he voted for this. Now, I'm trying to be generous. I'm trying to be kind to these people. But if you are part of the industry, surely you understand that if we leave the European Union, we're going to be like Russia, we're going to be like the United States. And how do they trade with the European Union? Now, whether Boris Johnson says something or Nigel Farage says something, I don't think Boris said something is a reasonable excuse. Because we know that Boris Johnson is a compulsive liar. We've seen him lie in Parliament. And he's been around for a long time now. He was Mayor of London. He lied about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. For me, one of the biggest ones was when he said he was going to lie down in front of bulldozers at the expansion of the airport at Heathrow. And he jetted off to Singapore or Hong Kong. I don't remember where it was. That was one example. That was before the Brexit vote, or before all of this started. How many examples do you need of Boris Johnson lying to people? It doesn't even have to be politically. It can be, to members of the public or to partners.
We're going to get our fish back. We're going to get our waters back. All the roses in the garden have come up. We've died and gone to heaven. But it's not the case. We haven't got the infrastructure. 84% of the cod caught in the English Channel are caught by the French. What are we going to do?
Sorry, when the video stopped here, but I feel for these people. Honestly, I do. But at the same time, he voted to make other people poorer. He listened to Boris Johnson. He believed in Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson led you down the garden path. Yes, he did. But please, people, stop listening to Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage. They don't care about you. They never have. They never will. And unfortunately, 40% of the population, 40% of the electorate, I should say, would vote for Boris Johnson again. Would vote for the Conservatives after they have been lied to. What can we do with people like this? I don't know. How can we help them? I don't know. This man, at least he's been honest. He's not one of these Brexiteers who continue to say, no, everything's going to be great. It's all, it's lies that the media are telling you, blah, blah, blah. No. At least he's been honest and coming out and saying, look, yes, I was conned. We should have some sympathy for him. But at the same time, he voted to make other people poorer. And he should have known about this because this is his industry. So, in a sense, I believe that, we should show him some sympathy. But at the same time, going too far and giving too much, providing him with too much sympathy allows him to vote for Boris Johnson again. Saying, you were tricked into believing Boris Johnson. But Boris Johnson maybe just lied on that occasion. He'll be honest next time. Please, people, stop listening to Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage. They do not care about you. They have never cared about you. They don't care about you now, and they will not care about you in the future. They use you as a tool. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?